If the US economy is booming, why does it still feel like it sucks so much? I see so many people that feel the same way. If this economy is doing so well, where are all the goddamn jobs that pay a living wage? Do you guys feel like the economy is rigged? Like it's almost fraudulent / fake / smoke and mirrors? Get on Indeed or Monster and you can basically smell the bullshit in the way our job market functions. Look at the ridiculous requirements for basic jobs. 3 years experience for entry level? WTF? Why do businesses, the most powerful institutions in our country, not saying I like that, but in this country they certainly are, act so douchey and sociopathic? Job hunting is like trying to sneak into a shitty college house party. Some stupid asshole is standing at the edge of the house, heckling you. Who do you know? Who do you know? If you don't have an in, you're not getting in that fucking party. Sadly, jobs are the exact same way. If you don't get into the party, you'll just have less of a hangover the next morning. But if you don't get an in at any companies, well, I guess sleeping in a car is better than sleeping on the street, right? What do you think it would take to fix all of this bullshit? I'm at the end of my rope. A lot of it is the stock market is doing well, which doesn't help a lot of people. Also, we have historic ROI in the market. It is really unsustainable, yet investors push companies to keep it up. The market tripling in 8 years when it didn't triple in decades is unsustainable. Part of the way you keep that ROI up is to push for higher productivity, which translates into getting more out of people without paying them more. Holy shit, it tripled in 8 years? That is unbelievable. Are you in the finance industry? I get the impression that you're fairly market literate from that short post. Would you say that a lot of these gains are speculative bubbles? When would you anticipate that they will burst / the next recession? Regarding the higher productivity, I think people seriously underestimate how big an impact IT and AI have had. We have phenomenal tools now, so we can get so much done. Instead of just working less, we work the same or slightly more and the corporate overlords run away with all of the extra profit. Well, frustration comes through in your question, for sure, and I think it resonates with a lot of people. Keep in mind that the metrics of a good economy are subjective. Most relate to the flow of money, but ignore the impact on the population. In my opinion, if the metrics ignore the impact on the population, then they aren't shit. I know that our Gini index, income distribution metric, is as here and that's a very relevant metric on population impact. But you're right that it is subjective and all relative. Compared to Africa and China, our Gini isn't too bad. Compared to Europe, it's in the trash. I'll give you another analogy that might help explain it. I was chatting with a Chilean mate and I was saying how I was impressed their economy was doing so well. Its GDP per capita is much higher than anyone else in South America. His response captures your question. Okay. He said, you have 10 Ferraris and I have none. What is our Ferrari per capita? It's 5, which sounds and looks good, but in reality you have 10 and I have none. It was a good explanation, and that is our economy. At no time in recent history has wealth been so disparate. You need to go back to Russia pre-revolution or France pre-revolution to get the same disparity. The economy has grown at the top line, which looks great, those 5 Ferraris, but it has all gone to a very small number of business owners, those with the 10 Ferraris. Why? Because growth over the past 2 decades has been due to financial engineering and structuring. Putting myself in the shoes of a business owner, I've automated a lot to save a ton of money, meaning massive job cuts and downward pressure on wages of those left, or I've moved my factories to areas where wages are low. I've restructured myself into no or low tax jurisdictions and played tax codes, so I'm effectively getting full use of the benefits of taxation, roads and rail, police, hospitals, post, etc., but no longer contributing to it. I.e., my profits have boomed, driving up my business value, which has been boosted again by near zero interest rates. Happy to explain this in more detail, but in a nutshell, all valuation models are inversely based on risk-free rates, i.e. high rate equals low value and low rate now equals high value, hence good stock market values for now. This model is not sustainable and it is not capitalism. It's not actually building value or anything in the intrinsic sense. It's just a sidewalk shell game hustle of squeezing value from value created by previous generations of business builders and workers. In economics, they are just rent seekers or value parasites. It's more closely aligned to feudalism. Like all good feudal lords, they'll still benefact great projects because they can, take Davos, but they control the economic landscape in such a way that the majority are in effect serfs. You think someone is free who is in financial servitude to their college loans or on subsistence wages. For capitalism to work, it needs consumers, e.g. Henry Ford created the weekend for his workers to create the need to buy his cars so as to be able to enjoy the weekend. Smart, huh? The above model is why the real economy is grinding to a halt. A small number of people are consumers and the rest have no time nor disposable income to consume. If you're stocking caviar or champagne, you're doing well, but if you're selling middle-class products, you are stuffed. To get capitalism going again, you need to rebuild those consumers and reverse the slide into fiscal feudalism. The alternative is what happened in Russia and France. And in some respects is the main reason for the rise in Trump, who those most impacted don't recognize due to slick marketing and general BS, general con job, is actually a member of the problem, not the solution. I get what you are saying and I agree. The middle class needs to unionize to pool our money and buy Ferraris for ourselves. The transition from apprenticeship and mentorship education to factory-style education is starting to cause problems for new people entering the labor market due to the low value for money factory-style education provides. Employers are realizing that almost everyone went to college, everyone did okay, and that makes it impossible for them to tell who will be a good hire. So people are entering the market late, age 22 to 25, without a marketable skill set. Furthermore, the style of learning in universities often is unsuited to real work. People don't learn to manage risks effectively and take chances, to work on undefined problems without specific solutions, to earn money. The only type of entrepreneurship we think about or are taught about is being the next Apple/Amazon/Google, not setting up a successful SMB. So people are leaving college unskilled, nervous about risk, and forced into low-paying but structured jobs that they feel are beneath them or not what they wanted from the work they put in. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. I see a need to return to direct mentorship and apprenticeship, skills-based learning with someone who can vouch for you and induct you into a trade. We need a massive reduction of sitting in lecture theaters for years, reading books and writing essays, learning alone and in the abstract with a teaching to the test model. That is, unless you're in a specific discipline that works well like this, such as maths or physics, though I don't know that from experience.